Okay, now let's watch this video. It's just 4 to 5 minutes. Once we have the story in mind, we can go further for the analysis.
Tragedy written by Christopher Marlowe shortly before the playwright's death in 1593. A cautionary tale, the play tells the story of Faustus, a man who sells his soul to the devil in exchange for power and riches. The character of Faustus has origins in German legend and is rumored to have been based on a real alchemist from the Renaissance era, Johann Georg Faust. The play opens with a prologue in which a chorus introduces us to Faustus, a brilliant doctor of divinity who rose to prominence as a scholar despite modest origins. When we meet Faustus, he has moved on from theology to magic and the dark arts, which he believes will give him more power than kings. Two angels, one good and one evil, try to advise Faustus. The good angel tells him to put the dark arts aside and prioritize his chance at heaven, while the evil angel encourages Faustus to pursue magic, as it could give him limitless powers on earth. Faustus orders his servant, Wagner, to summon Valdez and Cornelius, two famous magicians and friends to Faustus. When they arrive, Faustus informs these friends that he has decided to practice witchcraft and intends to conjure that very night. Valdez and Cornelius are delighted and promise the aspiring magician that with their knowledge and his mind, they will be able to control nature itself. Meanwhile, two scholars meet Wagner, the servant, and ask him where Faustus is. Wagner informs them that his master is with Valdez and Cornelius. The scholars are concerned and decide to inform the clergy. That night, Faustus summons Mephistopheles, a devil from hell. At first, Mephistopheles' form is too ugly for Faustus to bear, so he asks the demon to transform into the shape of a friar instead. Faustus then commands Mephistopheles to be his servant, but the devil explains that only Lucifer can be his master. Faustus is intrigued and orders Mephistopheles to tell Lucifer he'd like to sell his soul in exchange for 24 years of magical powers. Mephistopheles asks that Faustus seal the deal by signing a contract in his own blood. Faustus agrees, but when he cuts his arm to sign it, the wound is divinely healed, bearing the inscription, "Man, flee," which frightens Faustus. Ignoring the warning, he signs the contract, finalizing his deal with the devil. Faustus asks Mephistopheles several questions about heaven, hell, and God, but he is dissatisfied with the demon's answers. Encouraged by the good angel to repent, Faustus wishes he could, but worries that it's too late. Learning of Faustus's desire to repent, Lucifer, Mephistopheles, and another demon called Beelzebub intimidate him into honoring his contract. Over the years, Faustus travels far and wide, earning riches and acclaim. He pulls pranks on the Pope and commoners alike, even becoming a favorite of the German emperor, whom he entertains by conjuring long-dead legends like Alexander the Great. Despite his enemies' attempts to kill him, Faustus survives, proving that he indeed cannot be killed. Nearing the end of the 24 years, Faustus prepares for certain death, leaving everything to Wagner. A pious old man insists that Faustus can still repent, but Mephistopheles threatens Faustus with physical violence. Doomed, Faustus asks Mephistopheles to summon Helen of Troy, the famous beauty from Homer's Iliad, to serve as his final indulgence. Finally, the night on which Faustus must surrender his soul arrives. Along with Faustus's scholar friends, the good angel laments Faustus's fate, while Mephistopheles, Lucifer, Beelzebub, and the evil angel taunt him. The gates of hell open, and despite Faustus's pleading, the devils drag him into the abyss. In a final speech, the chorus warns the audience to remember the story of Faustus, a man who wasted his potential for a chance at omnipotence.
So, who would like to go ahead and summarize the story for the rest of the class? Of course, you have listened to it now. You might have understood most of the points. तो कौन बताना चाहेगा ये story पूरी class को? Go ahead, please.
Ma'am, the story is basically about his greed.
That's
और उसने जितनी भी कोशिश इवन तो उसके पास बार बार एंजल द गुड एंजल आके उसे कह रहा था कि यू कैन स्टिल रिपेंट. उसकी ग्रीड इतनी ज़्यादा हो चुकी थी कि वो अब वापस नहीं आ सकता था. उसके पास अब कोई नो वे होम थी.
that's correct.
एंड द डील विद द डेविल जब उसने वो बना ली तो उसी टाइम पे उसे पता चल जाना चाहिए था कि उसका अब वो पीछे मुड़ के अब वापस नहीं आ सकता, क्योंकि उसकी ग्रीड एक ऐसे लेवल पे पहुंच चुकी थी कि इवन तो वो जो जो चीज़ें वो चाहता था उसे वो मिल रही थी, लेकिन फिर भी वो सेटिस्फाई नहीं था उनसे.
That's correct. Very good.
एंड दैट्स व्हाट आई अंडरस्टूड.
Very good, Aisha. Anybody else? Hmm?
जो उसने मतलब वो एंड पे ना वापस आना चाह रहा था कि वो मतलब इन सब चीज़ों से दूर चला जाए, और पर वो उसने एग्रीमेंट किया हुआ था, और जो उसका सर्वेंट था मिर्ज़ाफिल, उसने कहा था कि अब तुमने एग्रीमेंट साइन कर दिया, तुम वापस नहीं आ सकते हो.
That's correct. So perhaps you could see some points where he wanted to repent, he wanted to get away from that agreement that he had signed with Mephistopheles and Lucifer himself. But then, of course, an agreement is an agreement, and he was bound to actually fulfill it, and his soul is taken away. Would you sell your soul for knowledge or maybe money? Any one of you? चलिए चैट बॉक्स में बताएं कि would you sell your soul for knowledge? A simple yes and no would suffice. So Memuna won't do it. Good choice. What about the rest of you? Okay. So Aisha Siddiqa says no. Aisha says it really depends on what kind of knowledge. Necromancy is something that perhaps some of us won't want. So Hale says no, and Nushaba is answering some other question. The question was, would you do it or not? As yes or a no would suffice. What about the rest of you? What are you, आपके क्या perspectives है बेटे? So this was Webster. Marlov is किसी किसी Elizabethan. these are the points that we are going to try to cover today. Christopher Marlowe की जो introduction आपको मैंने आपसे share करनी थी, I've already shared it with you. If you would like, he was given a pass, a hard pass was given to him. So today we are going to talk about. Okay, it's a no for most of you. Now we'll move forward to Elizabethan theatre. I want you to recall all that information that we talked about when we were on Greek theatre, that Greek theatre is this way and that way, और उसमें ये होता है और उसमें वो होता है. उन सारी चीज़ों से हट के अब जब हम एलिजाबेथन थिएटर की तरफ जाएंगे तो वी विल मूव फॉरवर्ड टू morality plays, miracle plays, mystery plays, and then we'll see that how biblical references were there. Before you, I had a class with another class, so I'm going to play the discussion that I had with that class so that you can listen to the same discussion. And then after the discussion, you can definitely let me know. Okay, so most of you have said no. That's great. Um, Understandable because what the मतलब आपने देखा ही है कि डॉक्टर फाउस्टस के साथ क्या हुआ and what were the consequences. Anyway, moving forward to um, okay, Asif says, I think knowledge and soul are not exchangeable, I guess. Okay, maybe they're not, but in the story of Dr. Faustus, it was a possibility, and they did change it. They did want to, they bargained for it, they bartered it. और जो होता है फाउस्टस के साथ वो तो आपने देख ही लिया, आपको थोड़ी बहुत स्टोरी तो डेफिनेटली समझ आ गई होगी. Now, going further to the discussion, which is of importance, is that we are going to talk about Elizabethan theatre. If you remember before this and before we actually talked about Oedipus Rex, we also talked about Greek theatre, its conventions, its structure, and what were the elements of Greek theatre altogether. Now, keep it in mind, or keeping in mind all that information that you have been preparing for your quiz as well, we are moving towards Elizabethan theatre. In Elizabethan theatre, we'll have a discussion of miracle plays, morality plays, mystery plays would be there, the plays that were enacted in the open air. Then there will be involvement of permanent theatre, the globe theatre, the curtain, the rose, much more. Such information is available. Why do we need to know about theater and its involvement? Because the कन्वेंशंस क्या होती हैं, यानी एक स्टेज को, एक थिएटर को किस तरह से इस्तेमाल किया जाएगा, उनको कन्वेंशंस कहते हैं. ग्रीक थिएटर में वी हैव ऑलरेडी एस्टैब्लिश्ड द फैक्ट दैट ग्रीक थिएटर हैज सर्टेन conventions, including that there was a chorus, a messenger was there, dramatic irony was used, all the actors were male. Apart from this, the language that was used on the stage was poetic in form, and the chorus could have multiple functions, including telling the story, warning the actors, telling the information to the audiences, and the messengers would come and tell about any death scene, because violence and death scenes were not supposed to be shown on the theater when it was Greek time. Now we'll move forward to Elizabethan theater, that how this theater was used and what conventions and measurable precautions were taken when they talked about, or they had this era of Elizabethan age. I'll open the document, but that is for your reading only. I'll just discuss it. Usually, I expect students to read and then they give me some pointers and then we move forward. Let's see that you can do that or not. Depend करता है. Give me a minute. Let me open the study that I'm referring to. Okay, so this is the document that I'm referring to, and today we are going to talk about these points. Christopher Marlowe's introduction has been completed already. If you don't know, just remember that Christopher Marlowe was one of the most influential Elizabethan writers. It is also believed that he was a spy for the state and the throne because Queen Elizabeth I was very fond of him. He was in a problem with the university and the degree was not being awarded to him, but because he was associated with Queen Elizabeth I, he was given the favor and he was awarded the degree as well. Other than that, it is also believed that the four dramas that Marlowe has written has always been superior to what Shakespeare has written, and he has produced almost 38 plays, because there's a controversy. There are different books that say that he has written 37 plays, and then the other books they say that they are 38. So it is also believed that most of the dramas that Shakespeare wrote were based on the information and the experimental write-up of Christopher Marlowe. So Christopher Marlowe is one of those, we can say, pioneers who started new trends in theater and drama itself. So क्रिस्टोफर मार्लोव की जो इंट्रोडक्शन है वो यहाँ लिखी हुई है, आप उसको पढ़ भी सकते हैं. उसके बाद we'll talk about Elizabethan drama and religious beginnings, that how religion was part of the drama and how churches were involved. Then we'll talk about mystery, miracle, and morality plays, and then rise of Elizabethan comedy and tragedies there, and then growth of Elizabethan theater and comedies there. बाकी नीचे जो points है वो वही हैं जो ग्रीक ट्रेजेडी से हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं. So Elizabethan drama definitely evolved around three major people: Christopher Marlowe, Thomas Kidd, and Shakespeare. And then we have John Webster as well. Christopher Marlowe was crucial nexus between and among all these writers that I've just mentioned, because he experimented with every um, uh, aspect available of a drama. Now, if we talk about religious beginnings, one of the finest dramatic tradition in literature is the Elizabethan drama, which emerged in the middle of 16th century, leading towards the 17th one. And Elizabethan drama it emerged after the decline of classical drama in the Middle Ages, and the rebirth that we have seen in Renaissance is associated with the same. Now, the stories that were illustrated in Elizabethan drama, specifically when religion was being highlighted, it included Old and New Testament, and particularly festivals like Christmas and Easter. So, जो भी कहानी enact या perform की जाती थी in theaters में, वो Old या New Testament से थी, या during या festival सच एज क्रिसमस एंड ईस्टर के बारे में बात की जाती थी. यानी जो टॉपिक था of the drama or performances, they were noble in nature. It was not about common people. Then we have seen in the history, it has been seen that miracle and mystery plays were there. Now, miracle and mystery plays were under the control, they were performed under the control of church had the control over the performances. Even the clergymen, they participated in miracle and mystery plays themselves. Eventually they could not be part of these celebrations and worldly joys, therefore they had to part their ways. And the moment clergymen and church part ways with miracle and mystery plays which were performed in the open air, in a, we it has been seen that commercialization of drama was there, because everybody wanted to get the maximum fortune out of it. So the subject matter evolved. Certain biblical stories and Christian saints were discussed in miracle and mystery plays, but with the touch of some comic frivolities inherent in day to day life. क्योंकि अब चर्च के कंट्रोल में नहीं था, तो देयरफॉर जो कॉमन लोग थे वो इसमें किसी किस्म की एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन उन्होंने करना शुरू कर दिया था. देन वी हैव मोरालिटी प्लेस. नाउ इन मोरालिटी प्लेस व्हाट हैपेंड इज दैट these were stories which were highly allegorical in nature, and they actually focused on what is good and what is bad, the binary between identifying the good versus evil. As the name suggests, moral values, they dictate that you should be able to identify what's wrong and right. That is your ethics, that's your morals. Similarly, morality plays had a long history in England, and it started in 15th century and then went into the 16th century. Many important works have been mentioned over here, such as The Castle of Perseverance, The Pride of Life, Every Man, and then social reality of human life was beneath the concern of morality play. ठीक है. The seven deadly sins and cardinal virtues were being highlighted. What are the seven deadly sins? Now, these seven deadly sins are given in the doctrine of Christianity, that a person should not have these or any one of these sins. If they have one of these sins, then they are destined to be doomed. Then, then we have impatient poverty, then we have Mary Madiglin, and then the conflicts of conscience and the nature of four elements. Now, these dramas that have been mentioned over here, they were allegorical in nature, and then there was a Protestant touch as well. Now, what is Protestantism? It was also, we cannot call it a flavor, but sub-religion or a religion that was practiced before Christianity bloomed to its peak. For example, we have talked about pagans, heathens, Puritans, and then we have Protestants, Catholics are there, and then comes Christianity. अब ये बहुत ही sequential नहीं है, ये side by side, simultaneous भी चल सकता है. It really depends. So social corruption, upbringing of youth, and how youth was getting corrupted by society. So good और evil का concept जो था वो morality place में बहुत highlight किया जाता था. Then came Renaissance, the new age of Renaissance, which was about the rebirth. So Renaissance के आसपास the drama drastically changed, and it started, showcasing Christian faith and many peculiarities related to this religion. Then we have role of comedy and tragedy. So human conditions and ups and downs were discussed in Elizabethan drama. Comedy was there, tragedy was there. Some works are mentioned over here as well. For example, one of the earliest tragedy written by Thomas Carlyle and Thomas Norton Godbug, to Tudor setting and ethos. It's particularly striking, notwithstanding the classical dramaturgy to the play takes shape. ना ये सारी चीजें आपको क्यों पता होनी चाहिए, ताकि आप ये समझ सकें कि क्रिस्टोफर मार्लोव का जो ड्रामा है जो उसने लिखा है वो किस तरह से इवॉल्व होगा और वो कैसी बात होगी. इफ यू रिमेंबर, in Greek tragedy, the poetic form was supposed to be performed on the stage. However, in Elizabethan age, these dramatists, they started writing heroic spirits, and blank verse was introduced. ठीक है. They started using literary freedom where it was not known to the classics. So there was a clear shift in such cases or perspectives. देन इसके बाद ग्रोथ ऑफ एलिजाबेथन थिएटर की यहाँ पे बात हो रही है कि रॉयल कोर्ट कैसे आया. क्वीन एलिजाबेथ यूज्ड टू विजिट द यूनिवर्सिटीज टू विटनेस द परफॉर्मेंसेस. देन रॉयल कोर्ट with the ostensible purpose of regulating theatre was there. Now, many bystanders or people of money, they wanted to contribute to the permanence of theatre because it was something that was used for entertainment purposes by the aristocrats and bureaucrats as well. यानी जो अमीर लोग थे उनके लिए entertainment purpose के लिए ड्रामा को इस्तेमाल किया जाता था. There were many stakeholders and companies who were actually investing into the theaters. There were some permanent theaters made in during the reign of Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth the First. Reign का मतलब बारिश नहीं है. This is the other reign, यानी दौरे हुकूमत. That is REIGN. So while she was reigning, she definitely had help from the aristocrats and bureaucrats, and they invested money in the permanence of theaters. And there were many theaters, such as the Curtain, the Rose, the Globe, and Elizabethan Elizabethan stage came into being, and that introduced the plays of Marlowe and Shakespeare. Marlowe and Shakespeare, they go side by side, और उनके dramas Elizabethan age के लिए एक फ्रेश एयर थे, यानी एलिजाबेथन एज को प्रॉपरली ब्लूम करने में अगर किसी ने हेल्प की है तो वो ये दोनों राइटर्स हैं. While the growth of Elizabethan drama as a native tradition was steady, one moving without meekly copying classical models, यानी वो बिल्कुल अपने आप पर चल रहे थे. They were not copying something from the past, but they had not cut off their understanding with Greek drama or any previous dramas altogether. They did had formulations about comedy and tragedy as well. Now, the task for the Elizabethans was not only to be forcefully English, but also thoughtfully European and distinctively Elizabethan. तो thought process यानी collectively लोगों की सोच और understanding towards drama also changed. Then there is a mention of comedy. अब जो comedies हैं कुछ यहाँ पे mentioned हैं, they are from I'll only mention the most famous ones. These three comedies that I've highlighted for you are written by Shakespeare, and these are romantic comedies, and they were performed by people for entertainment purposes. And these dramas included the theme of love, which was blended with sentiment, artifice was there, and then definitely self-centeredness was being shown. This was one of the themes जिसमें characters जो हैं वो अपने आप में हैं और funny speeches दे रहे हैं, and melodramatic and farce treatment was given to comedy as well. If you remember, farce is a type of a comedy which makes you laugh so badly that your stomach hurts. So ये सारी बातें जो चल रही थी, with song and imaginative idealism, romantic comedy provide an escape to the people from the harsh realities, and they definitely took refuge in these dramas. तो dramas बहुत important हो चुके थे. उसके बाद बेटे Elizabethan tragedy की बात हो रही है. Now, Elizabethan tragedy was more inclined towards the Thomas Kyd, Marlowe, and Shakespeare. These three are absolutely famous for Elizabethan audiences because they would showcase their artistry and mastery in bloodletting Seneca of the Elizabethan, bred on the Christian morality tradition. So people were very much कैप्टिवेटेड बाय इट, यानी जो ये डिपिक्ट कर रहे थे, जो कहानियां ये बता रहे थे, पीपल रियली लाइक्ड इट. एंड देन ग्रीक ओरिजिन्स ऑफ ट्रेजेडी, वही अरिस्टोटल की यहाँ बात हो रही है, जो हम ऑलरेडी बात कर चुके हैं कि कैसे ग्रीक ड्रामा को उसने डिफाइन किया अपनी बुक में जिसका नाम है पोएटिक्स. ठीक है बेटे, आई होप ये समझ आ गया. द रेस्ट ऑफ द डॉक्यूमेंट हैज टू बी रेड बाय योर ओन सेल्फ ताकि आप पढ़ लें. इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन यू कैन आस्क दीज क्वेश्चंस ऑन कैंपस, और दिस इज द क्रक्स ऑफ द डिस्कशन दैट वी जस्ट हैड. अगर आप चाहें तो आप इसको थोड़ी देर देख लें. मैं आपको ना कुछ थिएटर दिखाना चाहती हूँ, यही वाले जो इसमें मेंशन हो रहे हैं, ताकि आपके माइंड में थोड़े से बैठ जाएं कि थिएटर जो एलिजाबेथन एज में थे वो कैसे दिखते थे. Acha, look at this. This is how the theaters were. This is how the theaters were um, made. अब देखिए लोग कैसे परफॉर्मेंस को देखने के लिए दे गैदर्ड अराउंड इट। फिर उसके बाद नीचे ग्लोब थिएटर इज, ये बहुत पुरानी पिक्चर है इसकी, ये इसका मॉडर्न टेक दिखा रहे हैं। देखिए स्टेज कन्वेंशंस क्या है, कितना सिंपल सा स्टेज है जो उन्होंने बनाया हुआ है, यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं। और लोग यहाँ बैठ कर इसको देख रहे हैं इन अ सर्कुलर मैनर। सो ये अगर आप देखें, और उसके बाद ये थिएटर भी यहाँ मेंशन हुआ हुआ है, और ऐसे भी तो थिएटर, ये ग्लोब थिएटर है, दिस वन इज द ग्लोब थिएटर, जो कि बहुत फेमस था फॉर द परफॉर्मेंसेस बेस्ड ऑन क्रिस्टोफर मार्लोव एंड शेक्सपियर्स के ड्रामा पे। ठीक है, तो ये कुछ मैं आपको दिखाना चाह रही थी। यस बेटे, आई विल शेयर दिस, इसे क्या कहते हैं, ये मटेरियल आपके गूगल क्लासरूम में सब कुछ शेयर किया जाएगा, आप वहां से जरूर इसको देख लीजिएगा। उसके अलावा एक मुझे और इजी हैंडआउट आपके लिए मिला है कि आप अगर यहाँ से भी पढ़ लें, दैट इज अबाउट क्रिस्टोफर मार्लोव, द मॉर्निंग स्टार ऑफ इंग्लिश ड्रामा। तो उसके बारे में लिखा हुआ है, अर्ली लाइफ के बारे में लिखा हुआ है, मेजर वर्क्स आर देयर। दिस माइट बी अ लिटिल ईजियर फॉर यू टू रीड, क्योंकि जो यूनिट्स मैं शेयर करती हूँ वो थोड़े से मुझे लगता है कि आप लोगों को मुश्किल लगते हैं। अब देखिए, three unities of dramas are also involved in Christopher Marlowe as well. Seriousness and complete lack of humor is there. तो ये डिस्कशन भी आप जरूर पढ़ लीजिएगा, और अगर इससे रिलेटेड कोई क्वेश्चन हो तो आपने मुझसे डेफिनेटली नेक्स्ट क्लास में पूछ लेना। ठीक है, नो एनी क्वेश्चंस सो फार जो हमने बात की है, इससे रिलेटेड कोई सवाल हो तो बताएं प्लीज। If everything is clear, you can write in the chat box कि सब clear है, so that I know that I can move forward. Okay. Then we move forward to the next discussion, which is again based on Dr. Faustus itself. This will give you a brief understanding के context क्या है और क्या बात हो रही है. Now, Dr. Faustus was written in 1952. However, exact date is not known. The context, yani what are the sources that you can find in Christopher Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. It will include uh, individual selling of his or her soul to the devil for knowledge is an old motif in Christian folklore, one that had become attached to the historical persona of Johannes Faustus, a disreputable astrologer who lived in Germany sometimes in the early 1500s. So, जो ये कहानी है डॉक्टर फॉस्टस की, it's based on a real person whose name was Johannes Faustus. The immediate source of Marlowe's play seems to be the anonymous German work Historia when Delon Faustin in of 1587, which was translated into English later on. Now, there are many literary representations of Faust prior to Marlowe's plays, but Dr. Faustus is the first famous version of the story. यानी ये कहानी ऑलरेडी है, क्योंकि ये फोकलोर से ली गई है, ये इट्स ऑलरेडी देयर, बट इट डॉक्टर फॉस्टस जो कि मार्लोव ने लिखा है, it became the most famous one. Now, later versions include the long and famous poem Faust by the 19th century romantic writer Johann Wolfgang and etc. And then there are other information written. तो ये थोड़ा सा context है. Meanwhile, the phrase Faustian bargain has entered the English lexicon, referring to any deal made for a short-term gain with the great costs in long run. अभी जैसे आपको थोड़ी बहुत स्टोरी जब मैंने आपसे शेयर की है, तो you might have understood that for a momentary or worldly knowledge, if you're selling your soul, then for the long run you're not going to survive, and that is the case with Dr. Faustus. He was taken, right? So this phrase would be called Faustian bargain. Then this is something about Christopher Marlowe, that he was born in Canterbury. He was an actor, poet, and a playwright in the reign of Britain's Queen Elizabeth I. He was educated in Corpus Christi College at Cambridge University. The education that he received would have prepared him to become clergyman, but Marlowe chose not to join the ministry. For a time, Cambridge even wanted to withhold his degree, but since he had connections with Queen Elizabeth I, he was given the degree anyway. Then these are some of the major contribution and works that he has done. We have Dr. Faustus, जो हम बात करेंगे हमारे course में है. Then we have the Jew of Malta, and then we have Tremblayne as well. Now, some key facts about Dr. Faustus, the drama itself, is that the fall the tragical history of Dr. Faustus is the original, initially उन्होंने ये सोचा था, but then the tragical history of the life and death of Dr. Faustus was given. The title, जिसको हम Dr. Faustus के नाम से mostly जानते हैं, the author is Christopher Marlowe. It's a play written in English and the genre is tragedy again. Remember, Oedipus Rex भी tragedy है और Dr. Faustus भी tragedy है. टाइम एंड प्लेस की बात करें, अर्ली 1590s इंग्लैंड में. एग्जैक्ट डेट ऑफ पब्लिकेशन इज नॉट नोन. उसके बाद बेटे नरेटर एंड टेंस कॉरस है इसमें भी, राइट? None of the most part of is used in the drama, that is by the chorus, but chorus do give background information and comments. लेकिन ग्रीक थिएटर में chorus बहुत कुछ और भी इंक्लूड करता था, लेकिन यहाँ पर इसका रोल माइनर है. ग्रीक थिएटर में chorus का रोल मेजर था. Elizabethan theater में chorus का role minor है. Then tense is there, the chorus who provides the only narration alternates between present and past tenses. तो tenses ऐसे use होते हैं. Point of view and tone की बात करें, while he sometimes seats the stage of the chorus or the lesser comic character, Faustus is central figure in the play, and he has several long soliloquies that let us see things from his point of view. Soliloquies are the types of monologues that the characters actually read aloud or say aloud for making sense for the audiences. Then tone is there. Tragedy is attached with the tonality of the drama. Then time and setting हम already बात कर चुके हैं. Europe, especially Germany and Italy, and time is 1580s. Now, protagonist and antagonist. Protagonist, अच्छा, इसमें प्रोटैगनिस्ट जो है, अब देखें ये भी दो स्कूल ऑफ थॉट हैं. हम सीधी सीधी बात करते हैं कि हमारे लिए एंटेगनिस्ट यानी विलन्स जो है वो मेफिस्टोफिलिस और लूसिफर है, एंड प्रोटैगनिस्ट इज द डॉक्टर फॉस्टर. प्रोटैगनिस्ट इज हीरो, एंटेगनिस्ट इज द विलन. ये बेसिक वर्ड्स आपको पता होगा. एज फार एज लिटरेरी टेक्निक्स आर कंसर्न, इफ वी टॉक अबाउट थीम्स, वी हैव सिन, रिडेम्पशन एंड डैमनेशन. देखिए, सबसे पहले वो एक डिसीजन लेता है जो कि सिंफुल होता है, ठीक है, फिर उसको डैमनेशन की तरफ लेके जाता है, और उसको रिडीम करने के भी पॉइंट्स मिलते हैं बार बार. एक जो अच्छा गुड और इवल का जो भी हमने कॉन्सेप्ट स्टडी किया है, उसमें जो गुड एंजल होता है वो उसे बार बार बताता भी है दैट यू शुड retract, you should get back, but he's not able to contemplate on it. The conflict between medieval and Renaissance values is very much thematically prevalent in the drama Dr. Faustus. Absolute power and corruption has been depicted ever here, and the dividedness of human nature is there. Then motives are there, magic and the supernatural and practical jokes are there. देन सिंबल्स, ब्लड इज देयर, क्योंकि वो जो साइन करता है एग्रीमेंट वो ब्लड से करता है. एंड फॉस्टस रिजेक्शन ऑफ द एंशियंट अथॉरिटीज, द गुड एंजल एंड द evil angel, यानी वो एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट से जो गुजरता है वो भी वहां पे होती है. देन फोर shadowing is there. The play constantly hints at Faustus' ultimate damnation. His blood congeals when he tries to sign away his soul. The words homofuge, meaning fly man, appear on his arm after he makes the pact. Even, पूरा यूनिवर्स उसे बताना चाह रहा है कि तुम ये एग्रीमेंट साइन मत करो, बट ही इज डेफिनेटली headed towards damnation and he is tormented throughout his life. और जब टाइम करीब आता है वो और भी परेशान हो जाता है. Now plot and structure वैसे हम बात कर चुके हैं. I'll just repeat it for you. What's the beginning? अब यहाँ जो प्लॉट एनालिसिस है ये आपको थोड़ा सा और क्लियर हो जाना चाहिए. बिगनिंग में क्या है? डॉक्टर फॉस्टस, हु इज अ वेल रिस्पेक्टेड जर्मन स्कॉलर, he is dissatisfied with the limitations that he has as a human and forms of knowledge, logic, medicine, law, religion, सब पढ़ लिया, and he decides that he wants to learn practice, or he wants to practice magic itself. उसने जो वर्ल्डली नॉलेज है जितनी उसकी बस की थी वो सब ले लिया, लेकिन नाउ वो नेक्रोमेंसी की तरफ जाना चाहता है. ही wants to practice magic. राइजिंग एक्शन क्या है? The moment Faustus' study of dark magic and his initial conversation with Mephistopheles, यानी वो कहीं ना कहीं इस point पे पहुंच जाता है that he has opened up a portal where he can talk to one of the soldiers of Lucifer. Then the conflict is Faustus sells his a soul to Lucifer in exchange for 24 years of immense power, but the desire to repent begins to plague him as the fear of hell grows in him. देखिए, जब आपने कुछ ऐसा कर लिया है जिसमें पॉइंट ऑफ नो रिटर्न पर आप पहुंच जाते हैं, तो कहीं ना कहीं ही फेल्ट गिल्टी एंड ही वांटेड टू रिपेंट, बट देन ही couldn't because he had signed his soul away. So ये कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, यहाँ पर हमें प्रॉब्लम अराइज होता है. क्लाइमेक्स इज व्हेन फॉस्टस सीलिंग द पैक्ट दैट promises his soul to Lucifer, जहां वो अपने आप को एक डिसीजन ले लेता है. एक पीक पॉइंट पे, क्लाइमेक्स पे हम पहुंच जाते हैं. देन फॉलोइंग एक्शन इज that Foster travels the world and performs magic for various rulers, and the end or denouncement is that Foster dies and goes to hell. So this is a plot analysis that might help you to understand story a little bit more. Then बेटे structure of scenes अगर आप देखें, इसमें भी प्रोलोग है, एपिलोग है, लेकिन इसमें एक्सोडोस नहीं है, पाइन नहीं है, यानी प्रेयर टू डिनीसियस या गॉड नहीं है. इसमें जो ग्रीक थिएटर के कन्वेंशन हैं वो नहीं. यहाँ पर हमारे पास सीन्स हैं 1 to 17. देन वी हैव अ प्रोलोग एंड देन वी हैव एपिलोग एज वेल. फिर यहाँ पर फर्दर रीडिंग्स लिखी हैं, वो आप देख सकते हैं अगर आप चाहें. देन देर आर करेक्टर्स, करेक्टर लिस्ट यहाँ दी हुई है. वैसे तो आपने स्टोरी में पढ़ी लिया है. देन फर्स्ट करेक्टर दैट वी हैव इज फॉस्टस. ठीक है, डॉक्टर फॉस्टस जो कि मेन कैरेक्टर में आता है, अ जर्मन स्कॉलर. अब उसके साथ डेविल, एंजल्स, फ्रेंड्स एंड अदर्स आर देयर. ठीक है, डेविल्स में मेफिस्टोफेलिस एंड लूसिफर द प्रिंस ऑफ डेविल्स इज देयर. एंजल्स में गुड एंजल एंड बैड इविल एंजल इज देयर. फ्रेंड्स में द स्कॉलर्स वेल्स एंड कॉर्नीलियस इज देयर, टू मैजिशियंस. एंड देन अदर्स आर देयर. वैगनर है जो डॉक्टर फॉस्टर का सर्वेंट है, ओल्ड मैन है, लाइक द गुड एंड द इवल एंजल. तो ये डॉक्टर फॉस्टस के साथ ये सारे करेक्टर इस तरह से कनेक्टेड हैं. अब ये गुड एंड इवल जो यहाँ पर लिखे हुए, ये इनको इन अदर्स के साथ रिप्लेस कर सकते हैं. देन फॉस्टस के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन है that he's the protagonist, he's brilliant, he has got wealth and knowledge, but he wants necromancy, he wants supernatural powers, and he's willing to pay ultimate price for it. That ultimate price would be his soul, and he is willing to sell it to or give it to Lucifer. Now, his initial tragic grandeur is diminished by the fact that he never seems to completely be sure about his own decision, that he is going to fortify his own soul, and constantly wavers about whether और नॉट टू रिपेंट. तो एक कॉन्फ्लिक्ट जो है ना गुड एंड बैड का, वो उसका इंटरनल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हमेशा रहता है, बट ही नेवर टेक्स एन एक्शन ऑन इट. एंड ambition is admirable and initially awesome, yet is he ultimately lacks a certain inner strength. He's unable to embrace his dark path wholeheartedly, but is also unwilling to admit his mistake. So जो error in judgment है उसके पास, वो उसे admit नहीं करना चाहता. He knows that he has made a problematic decision and the end is bad, but he does not want to acknowledge it. So this is some. अब ये बहुत थोड़े point हैं for character analysis, but they are fine. They are sufficient enough for you to expand on. Then Mephistopheles is there. Now, it's a devil whom Foster summons with his initial magical experiments. Now, his motivation, Mephistopheles' motivations are ambiguous. On one hand, he often expects uh, goal is to catch Foster's soul and carry it off to hell. On the other hand, he actively attempts to dissuade Foster from making a deal with Lucifer by warning him about the horrors of hell. So Mephistopheles is a tragic figure. ठीक है, अल्टीमेटली ये भी एक ट्रेजिकल फिगर ही है, क्योंकि वो भी इस कॉन्फ्लिक्ट में ही है कि क्या अच्छा है और क्या बुरा है. वो उसकी सोल ले जाना भी चाहता है और वो उसे बताता भी है दैट यू शुडंट बी साइनिंग अ पैक्ट विद लूसिफर बिकॉज हेल इज हॉरिफाइंग. ठीक है. देन लूसिफर, गुड एंजल और इनके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन है. लूसिफर द प्रिंस ऑफ डेविल्स, द रूलर ऑफ द हेल. ही इज ऑल्सो कॉल्ड द मॉर्निंग स्टार एंड ही इज द मास्टर ऑफ मेफिस्टोफेलीज एज वेल. Good angel, a spirit that urges Faustus to repent. Evil angel is there जो कि counterpart provide करता है good angel का. Then scholars are there. ये हम already देख चुके हैं. Now comic characters are there. Clown, Robin and Raphael, which is Rolf. Clown, a clown who becomes Wagner's servant. The clown's antiques provide comic relief. He is a ridiculous character and his absurd behavior initially contrasts with Faustus' grandeur. As the play goes on, though, Foster's behavior comes to resemble that of a clown. ठीक है. अब tragedy और comedy basically the drama is a tragedy. अब उसके साथ जो मिक्स किया जा रहा है that is a comic relief, जहाँ पे comic character है, जिसमें से एक जो है वो clown है जो कि Wagner's का servant है. Then we have Robin, an ostler or innkeeper who, like the clown, provides a comic contrast to Faustus. Robin and his friends Raphael learn some basic conjuring, demonstrating that even the least scholarly can process or possess skill in magic. Now, Marlowe includes Robin and Raphael to illustrate Faustus' degradation as he submits to simple trickery such as theirs. Then Raphael, a friend of Robin's, who is present with Robin during the attempt conjure up the devils. ठीक है. फिर हमारे पास chorus है और chorus क्या है? A character who stands outside the story providing narration, यानी narrator. ठीक है. And then we chorus was customary in Greek tragedy, जैसे हमने पहले भी बात की थी कि होते ही थे. फिर हमारे पास horse, courser है and knight है. ये भी आप इसके बारे में और पढ़ सकते हैं. उसके बाद बेटे द पोप, द एम्परर चार्ल्स द फिफ्थ, ड्यूक ऑफ वेल्ट एंड अप्रेंटिस. ये सारी जो विजिट्स हैं कि जहां जहां जाकर डॉक्टर फॉस्टस अपनी नेक्रोमेंसी को यानी अपने जादू को प्रैक्टिस करता है, ये वो सब लोग हैं. ठीक है. रोमन कैथोलिक चर्च का हेड है. देन मोनार्क ऑफ यूरोप है, अ जर्मन नोबलमैन जो जिसको विजिट करता है. एंड देन स्पिरिट्स और एप्रिशिएशन, जिसमें 7 डेडली सिंस हैं. अलेक्जेंडर है, हेलेन ऑफ ट्रॉय है एंड अलेक्जेंड्रस पैरामोर है. ये मैं आपसे डिस्कस करूंगी इन डिटेल वंस वी मूव फॉरवर्ड. Now these are the 7 deadly sins जो हमने उस दिन शायद क्लास में भी हमने बात की थी. इसमें लेचरी है, प्राइड है, रैथ है, एनवी है, ग्लटनी है, स्लोथ है एंड कन्विशियसनेस भी है. अब इनको वन बाय वन डाइसेक्ट करना इम्पोर्टेंट है, जो कि आप इस स्टडी से कर सकते हैं. आपको एक स्टडी भेजी भी गई है, वहां से आप जरूर उसे देख लीजिएगा. फिर समरी दी गई है, एनालिसिस दिया गया, बैकग्राउंड दिया गया. ये हम डेफिनेटली नेक्स्ट क्लास में बात करेंगे. ग्रीक मिथ दी गई है, द कॉरस एंड अब यहाँ पे कॉरस और इसका फंक्शन क्या है वो क्लैरिफाई किया गया है. तो फिर हम इसको समरी वाइज प्रोलॉग को देखते हुए चलेंगे. एनालिसिस भी दिया हुआ है. ठीक है. ये आपसे मैं शेयर कर देती हूँ. दीज स्लाइड्स आई फाउंड ऑन अ वेबसाइट. दीज आर प्रिपेयर्ड बाय हुदा अब्दुल लतीफ. I think she's from some university. These were very sufficient enough, so I thought I should share it with you. तो आप यहाँ से बहुत information आपको मिल सकती है. ठीक है, ये 172 है, इसमें टेक्स्ट भी एक्चुअली उन्होंने दिया हुआ है ना, जो टेक्स्ट हमने पढ़ना है, तो बहुत अच्छे से उन्होंने समरी एंड एनालिसिस ऑफ, फॉर एग्जांपल एपीलॉग हैज बीन गिवन कि कोरस यहाँ क्या कहता है और इन लाइंस का पॉसिबल मीनिंग क्या हो सकता है, और फिर उसको कंक्लूड किया गया. सो दिस इज अ वेरी कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव स्टडी दैट विल हेल्प अस अंडरस्टैंड डिफरेंट सीन्स फ्रॉम द ड्रामा, और हम डेफिनेटली इसको कोरिलेट करने की कोशिश करें. ठीक है, I hope everything is clear that we discussed today. I told you the story. We talked about Elizabethan theater a little bit. This study was there जिसमें मैंने आपसे ये सब share किया. I hope this is clear. ठीक है, अब the most important part, that is your attendance will be taken. Give me a minute, please. Okay, be attentive for your roll call. Yes. Amir Khan, Nushaba,
Present, ma'am.
Munazza Javed,
Present, ma'am.
Husna Kaisar, Sayyida Aisha Siddiqa, Ehsanullah,
Yes, ma'am.
Aisha Tariq,
Present, ma'am.
Amir Hamza Khan,
Yes, ma'am.
Zainul Abidin,
Yes, ma'am.
Memuna Taj,
Yes, ma'am.
Ismail Khan,
Present, ma'am.
Aisha Siddiqa, Akhtar Zeb,
Present, ma'am.
Tanya Khizr,
Present, ma'am.
Mohammad Suhail,
Present, ma'am.
Hasnain Shah,
Present, ma'am.
Noor Fatima,
Present, ma'am.
Mashook Ali, Adil Hussain, Fahad Hussain, Sayyida Lareb Fatima, Muhammad Atta,
Present, ma'am.
Dua Zafar,
Present, ma'am.
Fahad Khan,
Yes, ma'am.
Afza, Waqas Safi, Miraj Siraj,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
okay, Nadia Javed,
Present, ma'am.
Mohammad Shehbaz Ali,
Yes, ma'am.
Mohammad Zuneek Sharif, Asif Ali, ठीक है, so आपकी attendance भी हो गई है, so that will be all for today. We still have few minutes. If you have any question, please go ahead and ask. Sayyida Aisha, much. Okay, ji. Allah Hafiz. Take care.